and I changed the 40 gig to something like an 80 gig, and then I think I even changed it to 100 gig if I had one at the time. I can't remember. So yeah, the upgrading history sort of happened a lot. I was always trying to push the machine as well further, although you couldn't overclock. I wasn't upgrading and overclocking in that sense, but I was svelting down, shall we say, the processes, doing the odd few tricks and stuff that you could do to these old, well, I say old systems, to the system at the time. You know, manual swap file and all the basic little simple things that do actually increase performance. This also became my main machine for DVD copying that I used to do, as everybody does, but by copying I mean burning off all my own stuff, which on my old machine used to be very hit and miss, which it guaranteed you'd get a failure quite a few times actually on the old machine. By this time, with this machine I was actually able to do things and not have to worry about them. And I watched a lot of series when on this machine. I did a lot of things, again, like my old machine before it. I pushed it as far as I could. But then everything came about with the high definition revolution. By the point I'd got the 2 gig of RAM, I was starting to use Adobe CS Pro, or Premiere Pro 7 and stuff. Although I only ever dabbled with it, which I only do now. Although I am thinking of maybe even studying proper usage with it, which would be pretty cool. As you can see, Call of Duty 1 is flawless, which is perfect, but on the other machine it is actually even faster. Or it would be. I don't even have to install it to know that it will play better on the other machine. Although some of you might be saying, well, you're not running it at high resolution. It's 1280 by 1024 or 1024 by 768. 1024. You know, I mean, okay, you didn't used to play them on 22-inch monitors, but the machine, like I say, it served me well for many, many years. And it does kind of seem a shame to me that I'm just going to attic it. But in a way, you know, it's served me well. I did a bit of photo editing, I did my MP3ing as you do, internet. There's not much more really to say about it. I mean, hell, it's just PC. So what I'll do now is I'll power it down and we'll take a look inside. Let's give me a screwdriver. Right. Now, you can see it's a little beat up on the case and everything. Not exactly the best. One thing I did find, because this case was so very enclosed, I used to suffer terrible heat problems with it. And in fact, it's pretty dusty now. I'm quite surprised I haven't used it for a while. Bog standard cheaper power supply. 500 watt one in this one. Yeah, that's right. I originally had its original model, just memory kicking in here, which was a 440, something like that. Even the fan's dirty. This one glows blue. It was cheap, so whatever. Yeah, it was like a 440 or something, but that was starting to go dodgy, cutting out and everything. So I bought a 350 watt. One thing I don't like, sorry, just to point out, is this case design here. Your hard drive caddy. It sits so damn close. When you shut it, the case actually pushes like this on your damn power cables. That was one reason why I had to switch. And as can be seen, because the cables were moving position, it was losing power and causing cutouts, so it had to be taped. But yes, back on. I had to switch from the 440 because it bust, so I'd originally bought I had a 350 from my other machine, so I'd switched it around to a 350, which was more than enough for one of these odd systems. And then I'd bought the 500 not to like a year after, so that was the upgrades to that. But even then, this cable from the CD drive is dodgy still. That's what you get when you cheap out in a way. Same for the graphics card one, for that matter, which is a 128 GeForce 66 standard. I think it's a PNY model. The one I had initially was a PNY. I used to have two hard drives sat here, but they used to sit really close together. And what I did is I just got some I forget the bloody names of them now. Just some bars. In fact, they're still on here. I thought I took them off, but I haven't. Yeah, some of these plates. So this, yeah. Cheapo fix, but £2 to get them and the bolts, and I just had them bolted in underneath it. There was a fan sat on both hard drives at the time. I bought hard drive fans. Had them sat down. Took 10 degrees off the temperature. As can be seen, kinda seen, behind all the glare. The matching RAM sticks. PCI ports, AMR, CMR, header cables. All in all, a bog standard system really. Probably won't even boot up now. Yeah, going back, I had the chronic heat problems. I used to find that the system was running way too hot for my comfort level. So I would sometimes run it just with the side panel off. And then I eventually just bought one of the cheap little 4cm fans. Didn't have any normal screws at the time to fit, so I just used some longer ones. Screwed on just fine. One thing I did change, I eventually upgraded to serial a.k.a. hard drive. That did change. Got rid of the old IDE, but this case, like so many other older ones, used to not run. You wouldn't get any. Sorry. That's better. Yeah, you wouldn't get your activation lights, your activity light. So of course it wasn't really any good to you when it was like that. There you go. That is my old Advent that I seem to covet so much. Like I say, I won't be doing anything with it, I'll just bag it up, bin liner so it doesn't get too dirty, put it in the attic out the way. Thanks for watching.